Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Let me just double check my sound settings here as I'm getting set up. I hope you're doing great today. I thought it would be a nice way to kick off the new month if we did a member's choice video. I haven't done one in a while. Hopefully some people find this. I see we have just a few members here. At some point I may open it up so everyone can see it, but the members can vote. When this is finished, I'm going to let everybody enjoy it, but I thought this would be a great way to give back to all of you that show up every single month and give a little extra. Okay, so I currently have a poll on the side asking what you would like me to focus on. And it looks like most of you just want me to do a free flow reading, seeing whatever comes through. So what I'm going to do is start with that. We'll pull a few cards to see what the energy is going to be like because I'm reading this on the precipice of June. This is going to focus on opportunities for the month ahead. And then I'll keep an eye on the poll and see as people start to join if that fluctuates a little bit and you want me to focus on one of those other areas. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is an impromptu reading. This is for members first and then everybody afterwards. And again, we're going to be looking at the energy for the month ahead. I'm in the process of writing my newsletter, so I wanted to go ahead and do this, and then I'll include it in the newsletter so everybody can see it as well. All right. Good to see all of you. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's turn the camera down, give the cards a shuffle. And I think what I'm going to look at as we do this is basically past, present, and future influences as we step into this month ahead. And I am doing some of this in the newsletter, but let's kind of more broadly, I feel like I want to focus this a little bit more on opportunities. So let's just take a look at opportunities opening up in the month of June and see what they are. Past, present, and future influences. Oh, wow, it's a big month of change here because we have the death rebirth card coming through. So let's zoom in a little bit on this and talk about what's here already. So in the past, this is the work that you have done over the course of May, the course of maybe the past few months here, and what's really opening up for the days ahead here. So we have the Ace of Wands. For all of you that have chosen to look at this video and connect with the messages here, you might be in the process of kind of sparking something new, inspiration, ideation, brainstorming. There's something that you've been sitting on for a little bit, and it feels like now is the time to really fan the flames of this new idea. And if there's been anything that you've been sitting with for a while thinking, when am I going to do this? The cards are actually coming right back and saying, why not now? If not now, then when? So this is basically giving you a nod saying, whatever you've been working on, it looks like now it's either the time to deliver it, or whatever you've been thinking about, it's now time to start. Action is the next step, and we see validity with the Ace of Wands as well. When it comes to important things like relationships and jobs, this is also, you can literally see a spark. You either have that spark or you don't. So one of the lessons from the past is to remember that you can't fake that kind of chemistry. So for the next big thing in your life, make sure that the chemistry is there. Make sure that you're really feeling that spark of connectivity, inspiration, or passion. Now let's take a look at the center card here. What really is coming through as a central theme in the area of opportunities for everybody is ownership, power, autonomy, leadership, stepping into that sort of driver's seat and saying, okay, not only can I do this, but I really want to do this, okay? So we have the Emperor in reverse. Let's take a look at this card up close a little bit. So for some of you, the strategic element of this could be difficult. You're like, I know I want to do this, but I'm not sure how I can navigate to that position of power or authority or leadership. And so this is a great month to lean on mentors in your life, to do some research, to basically focus on self-empowerment, anything that you can do where you feel like, not only am I ready, but I'm also deserving of this. So there's a little bit of internal work that has to kind of happen in the area of self-worth. There may be a little bit of strategic work that needs to happen. I mean, of course, we all want to just go get a lottery ticket and have everything set up for us, but life usually requires procedures, some hoops, some gatekeepers. And so this is a time to figure out, what is it that's necessary for me to do what I want to do? How can I make this happen? So education and then affirmation. I can do it. I will do this. And yes, I am ready. Bring it on. Okay. And then once you do this, trusting in the idea, setting up the strategy to basically make it happen and owning it. Then we have the death and rebirth card. Quite possibly, I mean, for obviously all of you watch my channel, you know that I really love this illustration because it shows death more as a gateway. It's not an end point. It's really a door through which we pass, and we kind of shed one version of ourselves and then embrace another, like metamorphosis. So for some of you, there's a little bit of a fear of walking away from something. So I would say a sister card to this would be the Four of Pentacles, maybe even the Four of Cups. Maybe they'd be bookending it. Four of Pentacles, I'm holding on to something because it may not be what I want, but at least it's something. Four of Cups, an opportunity is literally knocking, but you might be focused so much on the obvious that you're not going to that sort of leap of faith. So I basically see doors opening, windows opening, but it does require a little bit of sort of imagining something beyond what's obvious, and that's exciting, okay? And I see some people here in the chat that have been doing some business planning. Good for you. This is a great time to do it. I'm writing the news, well, it's written, but I'm just proofreading it. I'll be sending it out after this video. One of the things that I picked up on the newsletter today was that the three cards that I pulled there were Strength, the Fool, and the Nine of Cups. So it feels like all of you have done the work, but sometimes the emotions can step in and cloud the view, and it really is just about taking one step at a time. So today, let's take a look at what the next step is. If I'm reading in the flow, that's the next question I have as a reader. And then I'm so happy that some more people have joined. Welcome, everybody. And then I'll take a look at some of the other questions and things that you guys are going through in the chat. Okay, so let's look at the next step. So let's assume that some of you know what you want to do. What's the next step to make it happen? We'll read it kind of broadly in those terms so that everybody can benefit from this. So whatever it is that you're trying to create some action or traction behind, what's the next step to make it happen? We're kind of moving into the energy of career and life purpose now. So let's see what this is. What's the next step? Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups coming through on this. Love this. So Queen of Cups is saying with this, first of all, really feeling good about what you're doing is the most important thing. Whether you're pitching a project idea or asking someone out on a date or deciding that there's going to be this big shift in your life, a pivot, a 90-degree change or 180, you really have to feel it before doing it because other people are going to come through and double check and say, what are you doing? And you can say, well, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. And by the way, I'm thrilled. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. So if you're not thrilled about the next step, get thrilled, get excited, get behind it. And then you share your passion. And then when you are passionate about it, other people will want to join in and it becomes a magnetic card. This is also a card of partnership and love. So there may be someone in your life that wants to lend some support. They love whatever it is that you want to do as well. They want to help you. So you don't have to do this alone. But the only prerequisites, the only caveats on the next step in your life is that you feel good about it, you feel ready, you feel passionate, and whoever you connect with, if you decide to connect with someone, shares the passion, shares the vision. If you can do that, then it's good stuff. This is also highly creative. So it feels like having the ability to be creative, to have your own sort of creative thumbprint on things and basically express that, that's going to be super important. So absolutely feeling good about the next step here is what I'm seeing. So I like that. Let's now, because I'm kind of in the energy of career, let's look at career for a second. Let me just go to a different deck for this. All right, and let's see what's coming through for career. And I want to look first at, let's just see overarching message. What do we need to focus on for career and money? King of Swords in reverse, today's card. We had the Queen of Swords yesterday. The King of Swords came through today. He also came through in the reverse state. The fact that it's coming through yet again is underlining that we're in that energy today. Let's talk a little bit more because I only have 1 minute when I do those daily card reads, so I can give you guys more of a download here. So a King of Swords, obviously at the pinnacle of communication when we're looking at all of the court cards, we're looking at the suit of swords, this is where you want to be. The reversal of this is interesting. You can read it a couple of ways. In the empowered or high vibrational reading of the King of Swords reversed, he is outspoken, he is direct, and he makes changes that he needs to see made. and doesn't really worry so much about it. The emotional piece gets taken out when it comes to the action. It's sort of like, I know this is what I need to do, let's do it. Now, what you want to be mindful of, and I didn't really touch on this in the daily card read, is there are times and places where you can be that direct, but you have to read the room and read the audience. There may be times where it's more appropriate to communicate in a more sensitive way. You might really want to pay attention to time and attention cues. I'm sure we've all had a teacher, professor, or even like someone in our life that doesn't listen. They're doing something and it's just sort of like, hey, are you picking up on the fact that people are bored or stressed or upset? So take a moment to read the room. And then once you've made your mind up for something, you're going to see action happen pretty quickly. And those are the two main things that I see with the King of Swords. Another thing that I would say here is accountability is key. If you say or do something and it doesn't work out, take accountability. That's a good rule of public relations, is just to be accountable and come up with an action plan for how you're going to deal with it. If everything's going well, then people are going to look at you for more leadership, so you could be put in that spotlight. It's actually pretty auspicious from what I see here. Some of you may be wanting to put a little bit more down in writing, and I like that. All right, so let's specifically, we'll leave this up here and let's look at a blessing and a block for career and money. That's what I'm guided to do. And you guys wanted an in the flow reading. So yeah, that's what you're getting. All right, so a blessing and a block. And you know, they're both really curious cards because you know, to look at the Five of Swords from a high vibrational standpoint is interesting. It's basically saying you see trouble coming and you just avoid it. You understand that there's some things that you don't need to deal with. Seven of Pentacles reverse is knowing not to extend yourself too far. So let's talk a little deeper about all of them. So the blessing. Five of Swords is wasting your breath, arguing with someone who doesn't want to listen, or trying to talk to someone who lacks accountability. So when you see that energy approaching your life, or you see a pattern repeating, the blessing is you're not going to go down that path again. You can see it. You don't have to embrace it. You don't have to feed it. You can go in another direction. You're cutting your losses. You always get a chance to cut your losses with the Five and the Seven of Swords. It's really interesting that you can't even see this person in the distance here. If I zoom in real close here, it's kind of like they're hidden in the snow, and they've already got their back turned anyway. And so one piece of advice: it's not always worth getting the last word in. And sometimes if someone else wants to get that last word in, and it's probably just going to come back to haunt them anyway. So just let it be, let it go. I know I delivered that exact message, feels like within the last week, but specifically when it comes to recognizing a pattern, you know what you're doing, you know what they're doing. Let it go and focus on something else. Focusing on the potential block for you, which we're going to make into a blessing. The block could be trying to make everybody happy. It could be, for many of you, feeling like you have to overextend your time, your energy, your money, or your resources. And so you can't make everyone happy. The card before this is the Six of Pentacles. It's all about balance, discernment, and choice. So stand your ground. Even if someone begs, or even if someone, you know, tries to kind of get under your skin, you just say, no, I've really given it thought. This is my decision. And that's going to help you have more than enough time and energy to focus on the next big thing. So both of these cards are challenging, but the good news here is it feels like you can identify it. And now I see why the King of Swords came through reversed. He can represent just a simple statement, yes or no. He doesn't mince words and he doesn't beat around the bush. He's just going to say what he needs to, or stop it, or this doesn't work with me, or, you know, whatever it is. It's going to be very direct, and it's not going to be aggressive or emotional. It's matter of fact. And that's going to help you out as you move forward in this. If you have any questions about your finances, just ask a direct question. What's going on with this? Or what does this mean? Or how do I do this? And that's your sort of keys to success when it comes to work and to money in the month ahead. Okay? Let me take a look and see what you guys are doing with the poll here. So it looks like career and finance is a good space to look at. I want to look at the two different ends of this. So let's look. I know that not everybody is working. So I want to also take a look at those of you that might be between jobs, unemployed, or perhaps retired. And let's pull for the sort of like the different points of view that aren't always represented. All right, so for those of you, let's look at a different deck here actually. Okay. So for those of you that are studying or starting something new, we'll pull that for the first. For those of you that are between jobs or unemployed, and for those of you that are retired. Okay, so they're all good, by the way. For those of you that are starting something new, it's in alignment with what I've got in my newsletter, and I'll publish in a little bit here, the strength card. So basically this is saying you're on the right track, and people may underestimate your value. And this happens a lot when you're starting out in a new path. You may just have, certain people just have an amazing skill to do something, even if they lack years of experience. So maybe there's a better way to get out there. Nowadays, there's so many ways to release your work, whether it's through a site like Etsy or self-publishing through Amazon or, other distribution methods. There's a lot of ways to get products, services, and ideas out there. People may be able to kind of like connect with that sooner rather than having to go through the traditional sort of channels here. This is a time where you don't want to underestimate or neglect physical well-being and health. So really focus on eating well, sleeping enough, exercising enough, and seeing your doctor if anything is not connected in the way that it needs to be. But generally speaking, I like this. One thing that I would say with this is definitely connected to divine feminine energy. It can be parents or teachers. It's your life. You're living your life. Don't let them create a path that doesn't feel right for you, okay? Moving on to those of you that are either unemployed or just not working and are okay with that or looking for work. So what we have here is relationships are going to be the key focus for you. Relationship building. The next job or opportunity is probably going to come from somebody that you know, not necessarily from a recruiting site, not necessarily because your resume is the best. It's word of mouth or who you know. So this is a time to really focus on those connections. And anyway, it's nice to really spend more time with the people that you love. And I've had periods of under or unemployment in my life too, particularly like when I first got out of school. And then there were just a couple periods where it happened and I thought, it's not the worst thing. Financially, it's not easy, but there are parts of it where you get a chance to emotionally reset and you get to recalibrate and decide also, what do I want? And who's there with you when you're at your best or at your most challenged? Those are your true friends. And that's what this card is showing you. For those of you that are retired or simply not focusing as much on work here, this is about rekindling a different flame. This can be hobbies, teaching, mentorship. The King of Wands has a very active mind. And this is one of our misconceptions about, that you have to, like when you retire, nothing happens. No, that's actually when some exciting things happen. I kind of consider what I did, like I checked out of corporate. I am now very much my own businessman and business person and do my own stuff. But like, it's almost like I decided if I can't do that, so I have to do something different. I didn't retire because I'm working now more than ever, but I kind of see what people who retire go through because you have to create your own schedule. So this is about really creating a schedule that works for you and doing things that conjure up that fire, that inner passion. The cool thing here, just like if you own your own business, you're your own boss of your own time. Do things that inspire, and if they don't, like we were talking about earlier, why do them, right? So that's what we're picking up on with that. They're all positive, folks. I feel really good about this. Like, nary a bad card in the spread. I might keep reading with this because it's got beautiful illustrations. It inspires me maybe to read with it with Aries tomorrow. But yeah, what's not to love here? Everybody that's tuning in, we see inner strength, we see networking being a focus, and then really creating your own schedule. And I think everybody can benefit from that, irrespective of where you're at in your career trajectory. All right. So looking at the chat because it's members. Let's see what's going on here. We have still career and finance as the main focus. Love and romance, maybe we'll take a quick look at. Nobody really cares about blessings and blocks, and we kind of looked at that already. All right, so why don't we give the cards a shuffle and take a little look at what's going on. I think we'll do an elemental check-in with with love. I don't read love a lot, but I can read it here, and you guys are kind of deciding what you want me to read. So yay for that. Let me just find where this is at. So we're going to do an elemental check-in, fire, earth, air, and water, but it's going to be on love because I don't do that often, and it's fun. All right, so I'm trying to change it up, and again, thank you to my members. And if you look at this later and you're like, I want to join in on one of these, then please become a member. I'm trying to do more of these. I'm so happy we had a long month this month. It gave me a chance to like relax a couple of days, get the newsletter written, do a member video. So on the longer months, I'm going to try to do this. On the shorter months, maybe not, but the longer months. So maybe every other month I'll have a chance to do one of these member videos. Let me know what you like, and then let me know what you would like to see that I don't do with member videos right now. I'm open to feedback here below. Okay, let's look at love, and we'll do it by elements. And yeah, Liz, I just mentioned what elements are. We're going to break down fire, earth, air, and water, and there'll be 3 under each sign. So just stick around and you'll see it, okay? Let's pull the cards. Fire, earth, air, and water. I love that we're getting some synchronicities and that we also got change coming through a couple of times. What a beautiful change card. Okay, let's get started. We're going to begin with Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So don't worry if you don't have all the elements memorized. I'll put it at the bottom of each slide here. So here we go. We have the 9 of Cups. This was also something I talked about in my newsletter, which I will be publishing later today, probably right after this. I just have to finish this up. So the 9 of Cups, what is it about? Celebrating today, really enjoying today and doing something that you love. You can see her kind of taking time to smell the flowers, and I love that. And so one of the messages here is slow down just a little bit, be present, and really take advantage of this moment in time. We don't do this often enough. A lot of times, we just keep going and going and going, and this card is saying slow down and drink in the moment. This is neither the best nor the worst day of your life. Sometimes we feel like something has to be the end all or be all. And if something goes wrong, we're like, oh my God, the sky is falling. 9 of Cups reminds you that you want to look at the positive side of things and remember that you can get through things if you just sort of take it one step at a time, one breath at a time, and don't overstate any sort of situation. Just kind of allow it to sit with you for a second. So celebrate the good stuff, let the bad stuff sort of fall off of you, and then get the context of it, because I really don't believe in good versus bad. I think everything's a lesson. But there's intensity of emotion right now. So Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, self-care, rest, sleep, exercise, all the stuff we were talking about earlier, really important. If you've been working too hard, do something that brings joy. This is a celebratory card. So hang out with friends, watch a movie, sleep in, whatever you can do to sort of spoil yourself. You get to go to a nice extreme here when the card is in the upright position. 3 of Cups, 9 of Cups in the upright position, you can treat yourself a little bit, okay? And that's my message as we enter into this month, as we're looking at that. What does it mean for love? Because I forgot we were looking at love. So 9 of Cups here for love is really saying, don't let yourself get swept off your feet. So there's, I like Practical Magic. This would be like the Nicole Kidman character in Practical Magic, where she falls head over heels in love. She talks to like one of the younger nieces about this, where she's like, where you're spinning around real fast and you get dizzy and it's kind of out of control. Keep yourself grounded. So all the self-care stuff that I talked about, perfect. If a lot of things are going wrong or going right in your life, don't let that also sort of take you out of the focus on what's important with your core relationships. The people that are there with you, allow them to be grounding stones. And if you're falling in love or you're entering into a new relationship, take it one step at a time. Don't put the cart before the horse or something like that. So yeah, just one step at a time is the main thing here. All right, focusing now on my earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. You have the King of Wands. You're in your headspace a little bit. You could have a fire sign coming into your life. You could also be focusing more on work, more on self-organization. Good for you if that's the case. There could also be themes of authority that are coming through with respect to love right now. So, be mindful of remembering that you don't have to be the parent, the teacher, the therapist for the person that you're loving. You just have to be the partner, and vice versa. I do like it's in the upright position. I think that some of you may meet somebody right now through like work or an activity. And so if you're trying to make new connections in your life, that's a great way to do it. So this is a time to get really involved. and to focus on networking. And also, if there's something important that you want to do, again, you might find that partnership energy coming through. Okay? Overall, it's a pretty good card. People may also be seeking you out. This is a leader. This is one of the ultimate boss cards that you can pull. Like, I would put the King of Wands right next to the Emperor, because they both like to tell people what to do. So you may be seeking out a mentor, or you may be the mentor that others are like knocking on the door and asking advice from. So it puts you in a good position either way, because knowledge expansion and the ability, again, to network and meet some new people. All right, let's move on to my air signs out there: Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It feels like you're focusing on personal development here. We have the Page of Pentacles. By the way, we see a horse in the background. There could be some good news coming in. There could be a younger earth sign on the horizon for you. Oh, wow. I love the illustrations. Black and white is kind of amazing because it forces you just to look at the symbols. So let's take off the graphic for a second. So there's a key in his hand, or there's a key on the tree. There's a sunflower here, and we have person writing it on the background. So good news is coming, but you may be so focused on trying to figure out something that you miss something on the horizon. So one thing that I would encourage you to do is to get some perspective, get a bird's eye view on things. Don't get so sort of razor focused or have those horse blinders on so that you're missing the periphery. Slow down. So we're going to get a combination of love and non-love. So I see that with this. Many of you are focusing on personal development, money, career, and developmental energy. Meanwhile, there could be someone that really digs your energy and wants to be with you, whether it's a new friend, new partner, business partner, or love, because I'm looking at partnership on all those levels. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to change anything. They're looking to you, actually. Here's the only warning sign that I get. They're looking to you to maybe fix them. So remember this: you are nobody's keeper. You don't have to fix anybody. And you hold the key to your heart and to your happiness and to your success. So see yourself as independent, self-sufficient, like Nine of Pentacles, and welcome in the same energy. But if someone's looking to you to fix them, that's not really what you're about or what you're in for here. Sunflower is pretty good. This is just showing your light, your brilliance, and it's a reminder here to keep on doing what you're doing. It looks like you're on the right path. I'm looking at a lot of positivity with career and money. So whatever you guys are focusing on there, looks like this is going to be a successful month for you. Okay? All right. Moving to the next element here, we're looking at water: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, change. For some of you, a relationship could be getting more serious. For some of you, it could be dissolving and it's time for something new. With this card in reverse, it almost reminds me of a butterfly in chrysalis. But if we look at it in the upright position, there's nothing to fear either direction. We see a sort of cosmic death figure here that is very much like the death card that I pulled just a few moments ago, where we see the cosmos coming through. I always love those. These are better versions of death because they show it as a portal. So for some of you, it's going deeper. For some of you, you're stepping out of something. For some of you, you feel stagnation and you need to talk about it, because death represents all three things: movement, a lack of movement, or something that is moving away. So it's moving in, moving away, or not moving. And for you, you have to decide, am I comfortable with the level of movement, or do I need to change that? There could be birth in your life. The opposite of death is birth. It's creation. So there could be a new baby coming in. There could be a new project coming in. You could be moving to a new place. That it's a combination. Whenever you move, you're mourning what was and you're celebrating what is or will be. So allow yourself this month to sort of be in that liminal or in-between space. And in relationships, some of you are also dealing with a loss. This takes time. I can speak from experience, and I know many of you can as well. It takes a while, and for everybody, it's different. Some people, days or weeks. Some people, it can take years. There's no right or wrong amount of time when it comes to transition energy, mourning, death. For everybody, it's going to be unique. But get the support you need when you go through that. Know that there is another side to that, and know that your loved ones still exist. Energy just changes, but that doesn't make the physical loss any less significant. So that's my 2 cents worth on that. These are all beautiful cards here. If we just kind of take a scan of everything in front of us, what I'm seeing here thematically for the collective is allowing yourself to be happy, being really comfortable, and this is close to what we saw at the beginning with taking the lead or being a leader, personal development, and sometimes when you're not focused on somebody else, they come in anyway, and they come in because you're happy with what you're doing. This is the most closely aligned with what I was talking about. Your passion brings in passion, right? You just have to take a moment to look around. And change is inevitable. The only thing that is constant in life is change. It sounds trite. It sounds like you've heard it before because you have, but it's true. Nothing stays the same. So if you embrace and ride that sort of energy of change, then you can have a lot more fun than fighting it. That's my sort of take on that. All right, so let me see if there's anything we haven't covered. I like to kind of keep these short and sweet, but let's see if there's anything else that's going on here. So it looks like most of you are doing good. Some of you planting new seeds and things like that. I love it. All right, so I feel like we're in a good space. Thank you, by the way, to the folks that already gave back, even though you're members. So Evan and Liz and Shooting for the Stars and Cynthia and Sloopy. Hopefully I said that correctly. Thank you to all of you for being present, for all the existing members here that gave back. And I hope everybody that watches this on replay enjoys it too. So the members made this extra video possible, so give them an extra hug in the comments below. All right, I'm gonna do the thing that you're afraid to ask but need to know. So basically, some of you may have a question but you're worried or you don't wanna ask it. So what we're gonna look at now, I'm gonna end the poll here since we're kind of towards the end of this. So what I wanna look at now is, what is it that you need to know? Your guides want you to know, but you're maybe just like, I don't know. So I don't believe in fear, I believe in empowerment. So that's why we're not afraid to look at those questions. What do you need to know in this moment in time? And now that you know it, what are you gonna do about it? Or what do you need to do about it? Okay, these are good cards. The Nine of Wands is a card where basically it's kind of like an Energizer bunny. Nobody's going to get you down. It's a card of perseverance, accomplishing what you set out to do. But as you can see on this card, the person's a little worse for the wear. So one of the things that your guides want you to be aware of right now is stress management. For those of you that might be dealing with migraines or attention deficit, like maybe you've just got too many things on your mind and it's hard to concentrate, do whatever you can to sort of clear your mind. Meditation, of course, helps. Counseling. There may be other things at play too. So if it's something that's constant, talk to a doctor. But that's the one area of sensitivity here is basically the seventh chakra, your mind, your brain. So focus on cognitive health, brain health too. And there are certain foods, activities, and things that you can do in your life that boost brain health. I am not a doctor, so obviously work with your doctor on that. The Nine of Wands also reminds you to not push yourself too far. We have a tendency to overcompensate for something, like if we haven't done it in a while. So maybe if you've been eating a lot of sweets, you cut it all out and then your body craves it and you get cranky, or you cut caffeine out immediately. In anything, you're probably going to want to ease in or ease out of something. And again, work with a doctor or professional if you do that. If you're lifting anything physically, or again, if you're just working a lot, pulling back just a little bit, saving yourself from strain is going to be the main thing with this. And again, how can you do this? Really paying attention and mapping it out. This is charting a course. And by the way, this is also about recognition. So one thing that I see here is that the hard work is going to pay off. Also, if people aren't paying attention or aware of how hard you're working, speak up. Say, hey, I'm really putting in a lot of energy and effort here, and it's not sustainable. I need some help here. I need some help here. This is what I'm going to focus on. What do you want to do about this? Like you can delegate, you can communicate, you can also like write it down and record it and then share that with someone else. So definitely good record keeping is important here. Ultimately, this does show recognition. So I think some of you are on the precipice of better job of maybe getting recognized in a positive way. And this is also teaching and publishing and dissemination. So I like that as well. Okay. So there you go, folks. One last thing that I'll do for you is allow you to ask me a question. So focus on this. This is basically the final card. So I'd like you to just think of a question that you specifically have for me. Let me get a different deck for this, and I'll read it. You don't have to type it, just think it. Okay, so now for those of you that have another question, again, don't type it in chat. If you did, I'm not going to read it anyway right now. I'm just going to focus on the shuffle. And let's see what the advice is for you from the guides from the universe. Haha. Okay, so we have the Devil card in reverse, which is auspicious. Because it's the Devil card, we'll get a clarifying one for it. Eight of Swords. The devil's in the details, quite literally on this. So let's look at these two cards close up. So in this Devil, it's really interesting because it's head games. Notice how and the Devil is always a very low frequency version of the Lovers. So that's why you're going to see the Lovers on the Devil card. There's someone in your life that could be coming through pretending to be a friend or pretending to be something that they're not, and they're kind of getting into your headspace. There could also just be something you did or someone else did or someone else said. You're replaying something from the past. So what we're seeing with this is, for those of you that are replaying a memory or a thought, it's about releasing that memory or thought because it's not serving you. Sometimes we get stuck on something that we know isn't true. It's a fear or an anxiety. And what we need to do in that case, obviously talk to someone if you need to, but sometimes even just you can assuage your concerns by seeing that it's not existing in the light of day. Sometimes just acknowledging that a fear is fear, and it's only going to get more energy if you give it energy. So however you can dissipate or neutralize fear, you'll find your own best tools for that. Now let's talk specifically about what we want to avoid with the Devil energy. So this is contracts that are too restrictive. This is keeping a secret when it shouldn't be kept. This is ignoring something that really needs to come to the light of day. So the way that you can overcome the Devil is by being honest, by transparency, and also authenticity. And also there's another word here, integrity. And integrity is really the biggest thing. That's like the holy water that will just make the whole card go away. The Devil hates integrity. It hates honesty. It hates unconditional love. So throw it at the Devil energy and say, I love you, I forgive you, I release you. Literally, the Devil doesn't want any of those things. And when you do that, you liberate yourself. You also liberate whatever it is that you're attached to. And love yourself, free yourself, forgive yourself. This will go away, okay? So that's one thing. And then you can't unsee something, you can't unhear something. And if you need to understand or know something, you can't ignore it. Basically, it's using your eyes and ears and all of your clairs, all of your senses to truly understand something. Now is the time for enlightenment, because ultimately that's the thing that the Devil probably hates even more than all that I just talked about, is because knowledge is power and the Devil wants to take away your power. So the more you know, the less this one is going to be here. So knowledge, love. Knowledge and love are the two things that this figure doesn't know how to do. So know the truth, know more, explore more, love more, forgive more. All of these things are going to free you and going to make this an amazing month. We're right on the precipice of equilibrium. We have the equinox coming through around the 20th, different times for northern and southern, depending where you're at. But it's when equinox hits, it's going to basically equalize the energy, at least for that moment in time. So I see this month as kind of like justice. We're going to have a moment where everything balances out. So let's get rid of this stuff that we don't need so that you have room for the good, room for the positive, room for the growth. Okay? And that is a great way to end this Members Choice, Members First video. It's going to be available for everybody because I like to share whether or not people can be a member or not. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit more intimate reading and a chance to direct me and let me know what you're going through. We'll do more of these in the future if you like them. Just comment below. All right, everybody, from my heart to yours, have a great month ahead. I'll be starting off the next monthly set of readings with Aries tomorrow and then Taurus. All of the existing readings for June are live. You can go to the playlist on my main channel page and check them out there. All right, in the meantime, sending lots of love and light to all of you. I think most of you already have. You are definitely subscribers, you're members too, but for those that are watching the replay, it's a great time to become a member if you'd like to. You can do that by clicking in a live on this little symbol here, but there's also a join button beneath the video if you'd like to do that. And you can always join me across social media. So thanks to everybody in the chat because you're all members. I think I already called out most of these super stickers as well. And in the meantime, sending you all the best, guys. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye-bye.